Hey guys, this is my review on She-Hulk episode 1. So before going into the show, a couple of weeks ago I told my friends that seeing some of the posters that are coming out for She-Hulk, that I was like, I think I'm developing a crush for Jennifer Walters, not just the actress, but the Jennifer Walters She-Hulk, but mainly when she's actually in the Hulk form. And I'm like, I never have read any. Of course I've read, when she would be in the crossovers in the Marvel comics like Civil War, but because she played a big part in that, and towards the end. But anyway, my point is that I never really sat down and read a full run. So when this show was coming out, I sat down and read some of the Savage Hulk, and some of that stuff, just more of the fourth wall breaking storytelling. And I knew that She-Hulk was the first one to do the fourth wall breaking, not Deadpool, but Deadpool did continue that, which I think he was actually the guy who wrote Deadpool when it got to that point, when he started doing fourth wall breaking, because he didn't start out doing fourth wall breaking when he first started out, but the inspiration came from She-Hulk. But anyway, my point is, the more I see Jennifer Walters, the more I see this character, I'm falling in love with not just the actress, but how she's just performing this role is just amazing as well. And obviously, she's beautiful and sexy as well. I mean, like freaking phenomenal. But like art, work of art. Like I don't know, like something about this character itself, I'm starting to really get invested in, really becoming more of a fan than I was before. And that's what the show does really well. And I really love the whole relationship between Bruce and Jennifer Walters. I think that whole dynamic, like the whole back and forth they would have, the exchange in the show, this episode, Hulk trying to teach She-Hulk how to be Hulk, and the good and the bad, but She-Hulk kind of really becoming an expert into these things, already executing it more faster than Hulk ever did. And you can see slightly some of the old Hulk, like there was that one when they actually started having a fight in the show, like She-Hulk and the Hulk, spoiler alert, like you can see some of the original Hulk that we were used to, like some of that kind of showed itself a little bit, especially when he would literally tackle She-Hulk and ran after her after getting pissed off, after She-Hulk basically just annoying the hell out of him. But overall, I love this. The only thing I would say that was kind of a little niche is the pacing sometimes was a bit noticeable, but it didn't take me out of the show though. But it was there, but it didn't hurt the show whatsoever, or this episode. I would give this episode an 8.4 out of 10. Tell me what you thought, and please follow for more. So here's my review on She-Hulk episode 2. To me, this episode really felt like I was reading a comic book. But the thing about this is that I love how she's starting to see some of the cons of being the She-Hulk, but also getting the idea of what the show is going to be as an attorney. I've heard a lot of people talk about that have seen the first 4 episodes, talking about how this She-Hulk feels like more of a lawyer episode to episode drama type show, kind of like a Law and Order and Heat of the Night, but also a comedy as well. I loved how we also got to see some of Hulk's family, She-Hulk's family, but seeing some of the family in Hulk. My thing is, I know they can't really show Bruce Banner's family or really his parents, because there's so much comic book history, and we really don't know the history of our Bruce Banner in the MCU and his family history when it comes to his parents. Because, if you know Hulk, he know about his father being a very physically abusive father towards Bruce Banner. But I definitely loved She-Hulk's family. I think Jennifer Walters, I really loved her family. I think it kind of reminded me some of my family. I love how this little father and daughter relationship going on. I like the thing about Jennifer Walters is that even though she's just in this world now that everyone knows that she's She-Hulk, or just She-Hulk in general, and just how she's able to navigate and kind of just, even though it is kind of weird and kind of okay, no one's hiring me, but I'm working for this new law division that's basically being lawyers for superheroes, and she's the face of it. But she does, the kind of the disrespect of her not being a human being instead of being She-Hulk. I can see where that might play into it later in the season, or in the series, where you know, she wants to be herself. Kind of like the whole Spider-Man angle with the whole Tom Holland, where he wants to be a normal teenager kid, just want to live life, but he has responsibilities now because he's got power. Same for She-Hulk. And I know that might come into play with Daredevil, because I feel like those two are probably the most similar when it comes to being lawyers by day. It's superheroes by night, we're just basically a lawyer slash superhero. This episode did feel a little bit short, but you know, for 9 episodes, this ain't the first time they've done this. WandaVision, the first couple episodes were a bit long, but overall, I really did enjoy this episode. I really loved it. Jennifer Walters. I feel like the comedy did come out down a little bit. There is tons of Marvel Easter eggs. By the way, Wolverine, you know what I'm talking about. I love how they also nodded to some of the Eternals events, especially that big celestial in the planet. I give this episode a 7.8 out of 10. Please follow for more. So here are my thoughts and review on She-Hulk episode 3. So Joe, our fellow TikToker, has been putting it on Twitter a lot for the past week, getting everyone to talk about how this up and coming episode 3 for She-Hulk would be crazy. It would get the post-credit scene was going to be so big, and you know, it's going to be a big reveal or something, kind of like No Way Home was. It was going to top No Way Home's big reveal. Back in my mind, I knew he was trolling, because it was like, there's no way, because nobody else, even the people that I go to for like reviews and you know what, or they'll say not what to expect as in spoiling anything, but kind of like hinting at something. And for the most part, I haven't heard from anybody say anything that got to see the first 4 episodes. So with that being said, hearing Joe say that, I was kind of like, he's playing us. But I mean, even so, man, I appreciate seeing Megan Thee Stallion and She-Hulk twerk at the end of episode 3. Because like I've said before, I've somehow developed a crush for She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters. I mean, as a regular human Jennifer Walters, but now She-Hulk as herself, I just, beauty in that. Even though it's all CGI and it's not real, but I wish it was. But besides all that, I really did enjoy this episode. When it compared to, I do like episode 1 the most so far. Episode 2 kind of felt very, very short, like it came and go. And this episode as well did, but it had more to do in this episode. So at the end of the phone conversation between Jennifer and her best friend slash assistant, trying to locate Wong, because Wong broke Abomination out of the prison thing he was in, and then he came back. Well, Abomination did. And they need him as a witness. But besides all that, I love at the end of that phone conversation, she just like does a 4th wall break, which by the way, the 4th wall breaking is like slick and nice. And it's a whole series so far, kind of like Deadpool. And I love how she makes it very clear that yes, there's cameos in this show, but this is still She-Hulk's show. This is Jennifer Walters' show. This is She-Hulk's show at the end of the day. Which was funny, but also awesome that it was a knowledge. And I love how they're kind of using this 4th wall they're really going after this opportunity to really address some things without doing it publicly in real life, but doing it in a creative sense, which I love all the way. I really do love that they're emphasizing on the lawyer aspect of the show. I can't wait for Matthew Murdock to show up, and I hope they give him that lawyer moment like they did in Daredevil. And who was the boss that sent those goons after She-Hulk? Maybe Kingpin? 7.8 out of 10 for me. Thank you for watching. Cinema fans,